Over the pre-sentence report with your client, are there any deletions, changes, amendments, or corrections?
Nothing pointed out to me, Judge.
Okay. The
Is that correct,
guidelines,
Ms. Boone? Were there any errors in the report that you pointed out to me?
apparently not. All right. The guidelines are pegged at 144 to 240. Do either of you have any reason to disagree with that?
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
I believe the PRVs are correct. I would focus on the OVs.
All righty.
As it relates to OV1, I believe it should be properly scored at 20 points.
All right. Read that to me again.
OV1 should be 20 points for aggravated use of a weapon. 20 points is the victim was subjected or exposed to a harmful biological substance, harmful biological device, harmful chemical substance, harmful chemical device, harmful radioactive material, harmful radioactive device, incendiary device, or explosive device. Pursuant to People v. Ball, 297 Mich. Ave. 121 in the 2012 case, heroin is a harmful chemical substance and it can be used as a weapon.
Yeah, okay. That's obviously what happened here. So I think, Ms. Marwell, that should have been 20 points, right?
No
I mean,
objection to the
Yeah,
scoring.
okay. I don't know how they missed that in a case like this, but, okay, what else?
That leads to OV2, which should be scored at 15 points, which is the lethal potential of the weapon possessed or used. In that they possessed or used a harmful biological substance, harmful biological device, harmful chemical.
Both of these can be scored.
Yes.
There's no use note that says you can't score two if you score one.
No, you're supposed to score, so one is the use of a weapon and one is
Yeah.
the lethality of that
Yeah.
weapon.
Okay, 15.
Yes.
All right.
OV3 is properly scored at 25. I believe OV5 should be scored at 15, which is the psychological injury to members of victims' families.
I don't know anything about that yet, but, okay.
You will hear a victim impact statement from the uncle, and I can also state in my interactions with the father, every single phone call we've had about this case, he's broken down in tears. He's had a hard time processing it. That's part of the reason why he's not here today.
Okay, well, I'll reserve ruling on OV5. Go ahead.
OV6 is properly scored at 25. OV10, I believe, should be scored at 10, which is exploitation of a vulnerable victim, and that he exploited his youth.
Yeah, I think that's pretty obvious. Okay.
And OV12 is properly scored at 1. So with the 15, so the way I have it scored with 15 points for 5 would be a total of 111, which is a level 3.
Well, let's just see what it is without that. So if we add 45 points, that's without amending OV5. We had 45 points, right?
Yes.
45. That's,
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I just won $60,000 from my car crash from this app from my phone.
Correct, and that would still fall within the 144 to 240, but I do believe the 15 points will be appropriate.
so the OV level is what, with 96 points?
It's still a 2.
It's still a 2?
Yep, the OV level for level 2 is 50 to 99.
Okay. So the scoring on OV5 would put him over,
Correct.
put her over, yeah. All right. So if there were 15 points on OV5 and she had over 100 OV points, that would change the range to what?
It would change it to 162 to 270 slash what?
Okay. And the agreed upon minimum here was
22 to 40.
22.
Which falls within, I believe, the properly scored guidelines.
And it would be 2 years above the number is scored, but of course you're reducing the charge significantly. All right. Ms. Barwell, did you have any?
Your Honor, as for OV5, prosecutor is requesting 15 points. I'd ask that it be scored at 0. Never ever have the persons that the prosecutor has identified as suffering from psychological injury. I believe the dad, Mr. Upshaw, or the uncle. You're saying it's a paternal uncle?
Yes, it's his father's brother is the uncle. He's here present along with
Okay.
other members.
This will be the first time I'm seeing them appear for any.
Yeah.
And Judge, that's not true. They've been here, Mr. Upshaw has been here, whether or not you've seen them or not, they have been here multiple times, even when we were at Frank Murphy. I can attest to that. I've spoken with them multiple times here.
Well, there's sort of natural and probable consequences to surviving family members of a crime like this, which is of course very sad and very regrettable, is to be expected. I mean, we have to find some sort of unusual psychological impact on a family member in order to score that, but okay. And I don't want to commit unnecessary scoring error here. There was a sentence agreement, so
Right.
anyway.
Judge, if I can add to it, that I believe this drug use, part of this type of drug use, was introduced to my client by Mr. Upshaw. She has severe drug use that lasted for many years. Granted, it didn't start with Mr. Upshaw, but the severity of it increased. So his rights were terminated as to the other kid. 1 second. Right, for the one surviving kid, Judge. So I'd respectfully ask that this not be scored.
Okay, I'm holding off on that anyway. All right, Ms. Ripley, if you've got somebody that wants to speak on behalf of the victim side, let's hear it. All right, step up to the podium, sir. And thank you for being here. I'm sorry it had to be under these circumstances. No, right there at the podium, yeah. So, tell us your name and your relationship to the victim here, please.
My name is Sylvester Martin. I'm Anthony Upshaw's junior uncle.
Thank you for being here. What would you like to say?
As I stand before you today, it's been 3 years since the murder of my nephew, and it's been difficult to put into words and describe the impact that this has had on my family. The life of an innocent and defenseless baby has been taken away, and as parents, we are supposed to be the #1 protector of our children. For me, the future with my nephew will never be experienced. My family has been deprived of a future full of love, happiness, enjoyment, and endless opportunities. How can you define the impact of words? How can you define the impact of what's to never come? Daily, I mourn the death of my nephew, Anthony, and the future generation that will never come. To grasp the realization that Anthony will never live on earth again is painful, heartbreaking, and beyond my comprehension. There are more victims in this case. You have the deceased, my nephew, his brothers, his father, uncles, aunties, grandparents, and more that did not deserve his pain. There is more loss in this case besides the death of my nephew. His brothers lost a brother, a mother, a father, and so much more. Behind this incident, my brother Anthony has not been the same. He hasn't been able to see his other son. And every time my brother sees our sister's son, he's heartbroken because, he's heartbroken because Anthony Jr. and my sister's son look so much alike. And every time he sees him, he's reminded that he'll never see his son again. Prior to this, I couldn't tell you if my brother ever drank, took a sip, or anything. It's been many nights after this incident that my brother then came to my house drinking or drunk, in pain, in tears. I say that to say that every day is no longer the same for any of us. Therefore, the heinous, selfish, and irresponsible acts of Ms. Boone that led to the tragic death of Anthony must be sternly addressed by this court. Ms. Boone stated that she knew it was too much for her and that it would have killed her if she would have did it. Only a monster will still proceed to give it to their child after knowing that. Her actions, excuse me. Furthermore, Ms. Boone showed no remorse after her actions. The death of my nephew was not enough. Ms. Boone decided to do more damage to our family by making the decision to donate my nephew's body to science so that my family could not be able to lay him to rest, so we could have nowhere to go to visit him when we're mourning and in need of remembrance. We have no pictures of Anthony, no nothing. He's just gone, no memories, he's gone. We're only left with memories of his death and all the crazy things that we can think of what the scientists have done to his body. A purposeful sentence must be not just for punitive actions, but mostly to protect others. Therefore, I respectfully request that you sentence her to the maximum incarcerated allowed by law so that she will never ever be allowed to victimize anyone again. With your authority, it is up to you to do the right thing. Thank you very much for the time to address this court today.
Thank you. Ms. Boone, is there anything you would like to say before I impose sentence?
Do I get to make any statements on her behalf?
Yeah, but let me see what she wants to do.
Okay.
She has to answer the question.
We are one of the top-rated heating and air conditioning companies in the area. And as we get towards the end of the summer, we have a special going on where we can get you a brand new air conditioning and heating system. So you're covered in the summer and you're going to be covered in the winter for $0 down. And you can spread out the cost of that new system with 0% interest financing. That is 0% interest financing. So you're paying nothing in interest to spread out the cost of that new system over time. If you're interested, if you'd like more info, you can scan the QR code here to my right or to my left. It's going to take you to a page with a few quick questions. Answer those and we'll text you over more information. Again, if you live anywhere here in the area, maybe you've got an old air conditioning or heating system and you need a new system right now, or maybe you've just been thinking of getting a new one for a while, we can get you a brand new air conditioning and heating system for $0 down with 0% interest financing. If you're interested, scan the QR code here to my right or to my left, answer those questions, and we will text that information over to you.
God, I just won $70,000 for my car crash from this app on my phone.
If you haven't heard of Free Case Evals yet, it's quickly becoming one of the most trusted platforms for helping accident victims get paid what they truly deserve. They've helped over 180,000 people get big payouts after a crash using this incredibly simple 100% free tool. It only asks you 4 quick questions, compares your situation to millions of similar cases, and tells you, right away, if you qualify for a serious check, just like I did. The first time I ever heard of this was from a friend named Marcus 3 years ago. Marcus had been hit in a brutal accident, totaled his car, got injured, and the insurance company tried to lowball him. Hard. But then Marcus posted a video that went viral. He had used Free Case Evals and got over $120,000 in just under 3 months. Fast forward to recently, I got rear-ended while stopped at a red light. Some guy on his phone didn't even brake. I injured my back. My car was a total loss. And because I couldn't get to work anymore, I lost my job too. Then I remembered Marcus's story. I looked up that tool he used, clicked the link, and in under 60 seconds, it told me my case qualified for a large settlement. And just 60 days later, here I am, holding an $80,000 check. Paid off my debts. Got a new car. Life finally feels normal again. I shared this with my cousin Melina, who's terrible with technology. And guess what? She got a check for $220,000. Then my friend Jordan, who didn't believe it at first, ended up using it after his accident and walked away with $130,000. It's crazy how easy this process is. You literally just click the link in this video, answer 4 basic questions, and if your case qualifies, they connect you to a free Case Evals legal expert who handles everything. No court, no upfront fees, no paperwork headaches, and honestly, a few years ago, I wouldn't have known where to start. I probably would have called some random attorney, and you know how that goes. They take your money, barely talk to you, and in the end, you get nothing. But I saw Marcus's story, and that changed everything for me, and now I'm seeing it happen to others too. Tina, who had no idea what she was doing, still got paid big. Jordan,
I
who was
just
offered
got
just
paid
$5,000 by insurance,
$62,000
ended
for my
up getting
car accident
$130,000
using nothing
through this
but
tool.
this app.
That's a $125,000 difference without ever talking to the insurance company himself. This tool is honestly for anyone who's been injured in a car accident. Just click the link below, answer 4 easy questions, and find out in seconds if you qualify for a big payout, just like I did. And if you do qualify, the free Case Evals team handles the rest. No out-of-pocket costs. Thousands of people have used this link and gotten paid, just like me, Marcus, Melina, and Jordan. Imagine waking up and seeing tens of thousands suddenly hit your account. That feeling is life-changing. So be one of the smart ones, because this is still new and not many people even know about it yet. Click the link below, answer 4 quick questions, see if your accident qualifies. And please, share this video with someone you care about who's been injured in a car crash. They deserve to get paid too. Free Case Evals. Click the link. Find out what your accident is worth in 30 seconds or less.
Doesn't have to, okay, make her answer. If she doesn't want to say anything, you can speak for them.
Your Honor, contrary to the statements of the uncle who has no picture of the child, there would have been an opportunity to have pictures prior to that. Okay? So people take a lot of baby pictures all the time. But that's beside the point. An autopsy was necessitated by the medical examiner's office. My client had no say-so in any contribution to science because I believe that CPS was involved and there were termination of parental rights that were pending that eventually went through. Okay, so, Your Honor, I respectfully ask that you follow the plea and sentence agreement. My client never in her life had any felony or any misdemeanor. I was hopeful that I would get a lesser sentence because sentence agreement from the prosecuting attorney. They gave me this one, and this was the lowest that we went. It was reduced from, I think it was initially higher. Right, Madam Prosecutor shakes her head affirmatively.
Well, initially she was charged with murder 1, wasn't she?
Yes, but I'm just talking about during plea negotiation,
Yeah.
how they went down. I was trying
Oh,
to
you
get
did
it lower.
You did the best you could.
Yeah. You know, my client is the one who called 911 and called the police. My client suffered from the time this happened. She suffered immeasurably, could not sleep, became psychotic, could not forgive herself, and called the police. Since this child died to the time that she called the police, there were no criminal charges pending against her. Judge, my client is the one who came clean and said, I have done this. I'm a horrible person. Here I am. So, my client, you see in the pre-sentence report, you see that she has psychological diagnoses, right? You see that she's on psychotropic medication, Judge. You see this is a person who had an extensive drug history, and that is what led up to this, her drug history. Sleepless nights led to the worst decision a parent can make. So she conceded that she made that mistake. She came clean about it. She called the police. She's sitting here. I'd like to, this court would look into her background. During the pendency of this case, we had lots of psychological evaluations. She was deemed incompetent. Then they had to nurse her back to competency at the forensic center. That is why, and to maintain the competency when she became competent. So she needs that maintenance of competency. You see a bunch of physiological illnesses, including diabetes and kidney disease, which is severe. So I'd ask that all those things be marked for the MDOC to look at all of those things. Thank you.
Okay, one last time, Ms. Boone, is there anything you'd like to say?
Purpose of the person who was on my heart.
Okay. Well, this is sadly unique here. Just when I thought I'd seen everything, along comes this case, and it, in many ways, reminds me, the old slogan that it takes a village to raise a child. In this case, it took a village to cause the demise of the child, I guess. Ms. Boone is not alone in the culpability here. But anyway, as a result of your plea of guilty and conviction to the crime of second-degree murder, you're remanded to the custody of the Michigan Department of Corrections for a prison term of no less than 22 years and no more than 40 years. You will get 830 days credit against
830 days credit.
What did I say?
I thought you said 300.
I thought I said 800.
Okay, sorry about that.
830 days credit. You have a right, Ms. Boone, to ask the Michigan Court of Appeals to review your plea and sentence in this case. They don't have to, but you can ask. And if you're unable to afford a lawyer will be appointed for you at public expense, and the lawyer will be provided with a copy of a transcript of today's proceedings and anything else out of the court file that the lawyer may need in order to manage your appeal. You're going to get a form to sign, which by signing, you acknowledge the appeal rights that I just gave you, and then it's a copy of that form that must be filed with the clerk of the court within 42 days of today's date if you intend to appeal, and ask for a court-assigned attorney. All right, Ms. Boone, fare thee well.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, were you scoring OB5 at all?
I'm leaving it the way it was in the brief. There's nothing on the record to support an increase in that score. All right.
Premier ER and Urgent Care has all the convenience of urgent care with all the expertise of an ER, all under one roof. At every visit, be seen by ER-trained staff with on-site lab and CT, X-ray, ultrasound, and EKG. Here, you pay for the appropriate level of care that you receive, and we are in-network with most major insurance providers. Premier ER and Urgent Care has 4 convenient locations serving Texas: San Marcos, Temple, Waco, and Woodway. To learn more, visit www.premier.care.
Boy, you walk the dog around the whole block. You deserve the sweet and tangy reward of a new Prickly Pear Raspberry Whataburger from Whataburger. Who's a good boy? You are.
An icicle treat for every small feat. Whataburger.
Got them time there when people pay vote online. The system not working. Glasspool Brown, you and the Israelis know what you were doing. Glasspool Brown, you and the Israelis know what you were doing. Voter suppression. So I am telling you, Jamaica, Glasspool Brown, Wellness recruit you to finish his work, but you, Glasspool Brown, put up in picture, producer. You, Glasspool Brown. You, Glasspool Brown. Imagine Jamaica. Me not come about no fire, me just show Jamaica. Only choose Jamaica, but look what they did. Voter suppression in this country was very high this election. A lot of people went in the line to vote, and what happened thereafter? Glasspool Brown and his weakened electoral system that was encouraged by the nefarious activities that him and him Prime Minister Glasspool Brown selling out to get Heroes the Award, selling out Jamaica to get Heroes the Award, Glasspool Brown. 1 hour in East Portland people are take for vote, half hour, 45 minutes. It shouldn't take you more than 5 to 6 minutes to vote, have to vote. You hear what I said to you? Glasspool Brown, you will be accounted to thy God. And Glasspool Brown, remember the prayer warrior prayer. And you, Glasspool Brown, you will be held accountable. Me hear box in a St. Mary, I run up and down and box. Gone in a nearby bushes in a St. Mary. Glasspool Brown, explain to the public to know. All before 7 o'clock, Andrew Holness did there. Put up the first one. Andrew Holness did there with Paul Buchanan and 18 seed. 18 more box for count. Andrew Holness, 87 out of 105. And Andrew Holness, I lose. And then the internet now work. Lyman Digital now work. And when it come back, and then Nathalie Ishmael, the Pegasus was at work. The Pegasus now say, all right, it a go flip. Ishmael, a one vote, Paul Buchanan pick up out of the next 18 box, you know. All right. Show them the new result. The result flip. The result flip Jamaica. The result flip to the point. And ask yourself, Jamaica. Ask yourself tonight. Look there. Look there. 7,000 to 4,953. Anybody with no electoral system would have tell you, say, if the man a lead by that, he should be continuing on a leading trajectory. Even if him now win Ishmael, he couldn't have lost by that amount of vote. Don't swallow the pill, Jamaica. Do not swallow the pill, Jamaica. Jamaica people, don't swallow the pill. I want to tell you tonight, Jamaica. The Pegasus was at work. The Israelis was at work. Everyone believed he was going to lose. And magically, 2,000 votes just usurped. Magically. And I am saying to you tonight, Jamaica, how Andrew Wellness find 2,000 votes so, in nearby bushes? How Andrew Wellness find 2,000 votes in a nearby bushes? But I ain't going to say too, no. Ishmael, put up the guy that me want to ask anybody. No, me want to ask anybody tonight. Boy. May I get to it tonight, Jamaica? You see, anybody, may I say to you tonight? People are calling me already. You don't have to just bear with me, you know. I'm not really ready to take no call yet, you know.
Call. I am calling you from Nevis, and you see what happened with the Prime Minister in that city. Same thing happened in Nevis with the Premier when my representative whipped him. So it's a Caribbean thing. Same thing happened.
Really,
same thing happened when the box flipped. The box flipped just like that. My representative was leading him all the way. everybody celebrating. When you look, the box flip just like that and say he won. He just come out and say he won and he took the election. So we never concede to that election up to 2.5 years. You understand?
All right. Yes,
Same thing happens.
All right. Believe this. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mighty God.
Okay.
Hello, caller. Good night. Hello, caller. Caller, good night. Hello, good night.
Yes. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you, caller.
Okay, I said I had to call. First time I was at the polling station where Andrew showed up. And that's where I voted. And I stood there the entire day. And I watched at 5 o'clock when that station was closed. The ballot boxes did not leave the station until almost 10 p.m. And the counting area is the next avenue. What? So when they declared Andrew Holness as winning, those boxes were not yet at the polling station, the counting station.
What
I was appalled. I was appalled.
Help. Don't disrupt. Repeat what you just said.
Listen, Andre, listen, I am not into the politics, but may I tell you, for this election, I wanted a difference. And so I stood there and watched almost 10 o'clock. The counting station is on the next avenue at 65 Walton Park Church. And the polling station was Beatrice Crescent.
Yes.
And it's almost 10 p.m. before the ballot boxes went up the station. At that time, they declared Andrew as winners. And that is a stronghold PNP division. Listen, when I saw this, I was very angry because I know if I never believed that elections were ever rigged in this country, I know it was rigged this time.
So you say you saw that it never leave until after 10 and then them declare?
Until 2:10, until minutes to 10 before the boxes leave the station. I've never seen this in history. Never seen this in history. This is the same place that Andrew Holness tried to go into the polling station and the people them run him with. Sabotage. I stood in a line for almost 2 hours before I could vote.
Mighty God.
Andre, good night.
Mighty God. What is this? Voter suppression was very high this election. They confused. Hello, caller. Good night. Good night, caller.
Yes, good night.
Yes.
Yes, I don't know if you remember, but I called 1 month or 1.5 months before the election and said that we were to watch the EOJ workers.
Yes.
Because they are going to be the one that is going to steal the votes. And so said, so done.
My God.
Was and is the EOJ workers. They're all labor right workers. They start the PNP workers, them that was supposed to work in EOJ t-shirt from working and told them that they could work. They could vote on the election day and the voting day and keep the JLP EOJ workers across Jamaica because that was the plan for them to steal the votes. And so said, so done. The entire EOJ should go under investigation and they should be sent to prison. This wasn't a fair election.
Yes, somebody whispered to me, say, Andre, hide my ID. Listen to this, Ishmael. Andre Glasspool, brown wife, work at art. Artrosenti. And for months now, she been saying she has never seen so much money in her account from Shiban. Mighty God.
Okay. They
I
have that paid off.
post sharp was to work at them, you know.
The
For
clustered
months, it is
managers.
alleged.
Andre.
Wait, Carla. It is alleged that she works at Heart Trust NTA. And for months now, she has been boasting to staff that she has never seen so much money in her account. Mighty God. Mere allegation,
Andre.
Jamaica. Yes.
The clustered managers were offered $500,000 not to turn up to work, the PNP ones.
Yes.
Not all of them take the bribe. Not all of them take the bribe, but some of them did. So they spent a lot of money to bribe and also buy votes this election and to pay the EOJ workers to steal the votes. I heard a lady said 10 boxes were moved from Walton Park Road, and this constituency that I'm in, I don't want to call any name.
Yes.
It was the same hours the boxes were moved, and yet still the Jamaica Labour Party MP declared winner for this constituency. The entire election was rigged. The entire election was rigged. And this cannot continue. EOJ should be held accountable for this election. And that's all I have to say. Thank you. Have yourself a wonderful night.